I'm going to show you guys how to make my favorite avocado key lime pie. This isn't necessarily the cheapest recipe to make, although you can find most of the ingredients at Aldi. And it's definitely not the easiest recipe to make, but it is gluten-free and dairy-free, and it's always a big hit whenever I bring it to any summer event. So I'm going to start by making the crust. Use an 8 or 9 inch pie pan. And I'm just going to grease it really well with coconut oil. This does not require any baking, but you don't want it to set in the refrigerator and stick to the pan. So I'm just going to put it right in there, and using a plastic bag, I'm just going to spread it all over the pan. And then I'm going to start by preparing the crust. And I'm going to use my handy dandy, super cheap food processor that I got at Hobby Lobby. Got it 3 years ago. It still works great. I'll upgrade sometime, but not today. And I'm starting with a cup of almonds. The recipe called for whole almonds, but I had these slivered ones taking up space in my pantry, so why not? And half a cup of cashews. And a cup of pitted dates. Make sure they're pitted and you get these hard ends off, but pack them in there generously because this is what's going to really hold the crust together. Just going to dump it right in there. And a 4th cup of raw coconut flakes. And 2 tablespoons of this coconut milk from a can, not the coconut milk you buy to drink. And a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I'm just going to put the lid on. Oh, and I almost forgot a pinch of salt. And now I'm going to put the lid on and blend it up really well. And I did have to take my spatula and push down the mixture a little bit because it started to clump together and stick to the sides. But once it really starts to make those clumps, you'll see in a second mine made one big clump. That's when you know it's all set. So yeah, I just got this big ball of it right here. But hey, it works. So I'm just going to take this and just press it right down into the pie pan. As you can see, I tried doing this with gloves and it was a huge mess, so I recommend just scrub your hands really well and rinse them off really well and just kind of push it down into the pie pan and make the crust. And this can chill in the refrigerator while you make the filling. And with making the filling, it was a little tricky because most of these ingredients require both hands, so I didn't have a hand free to film, but you can mostly get the idea from what I did catch. So I started by putting 2 ripe avocados into the food processor and 3/4 cup of this coconut butter. This is the one ingredient I could not find at Aldi. I had to get it at Fresh Time. 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And a lime. Started by zesting it, and you want to be generous with this because you really want to get that lime flavor in there. And then I juiced it and added the juice. And a half cup of maple syrup. I recommend very strongly using the real maple syrup, not the imitation stuff. It'll make a different flavor. And a 1/3 cup of, again, the canned coconut milk. And a tablespoon of vanilla extract. And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And again, just going to blend this really well. And it looks like guacamole. I promise it does not taste anything like guacamole. I'm actually amazed at how much this tastes like key lime. And I'm just going to take the crust right out of the fridge and add this right in. Use a spatula just to spread it out really nice. And this needs to chill for at least 3 hours in the fridge. I recommend doing it overnight. It will be not completely solid, but you can see firm. Kind of loses its color, but it tastes amazing, I promise. And I'm just going to garnish it with some coconut flakes to make it look pretty. And this was gone within an hour of me arriving at our Memorial Day cookout. So it was a hit. I hope you enjoyed as much as me and my friends did.